Thank you, Hugh. Good evening, everyone. Liverpool against Newcastle, Monday night, under the lights at Anfield. A spine-tingling occasion with a fixture that evokes memories. But great occasions can often leave you with a bit of a hangover, something you may or not be able to relate to today. Scrapping to reach the top four with every fibre of their being at the end of last season, reaching a cup final, starting this season, beating City, United and Arsenal, and thrashing PSG in the Champions League at home. All great occasions, but they have come with a significant hangover. Newcastle's thin squad has been stretched, their early season promise has gone to the margins with their walking wounded, and even those who have returned have looked a little bit fuzzy. It's 6 defeats in 7 now, and unless they summon more of that fighting spirit, that run can snowball. Liverpool haven't lost since October in the top flight, and they haven't lost here since October 2022. It's why they start the new year fresh and with a resolution to win back the Premier League. They have dropped points in the last 2 at Anfield, and that doesn't happen very often. But are Newcastle able to match the defensive steel of Manchester United and the aggression of Arsenal? The referee is Anthony Taylor, the VAR is Stuart Atwell. Liverpool have been turned round again and told to attack the Kop in the first half. Something that Manchester United did to them a couple of weeks ago here. The Klopp dynasty always demands a response, and ever since he turned round and asked this crowd to raise their game, they certainly have. The Reds go into a huddle away to our left-hand side. It's the black and white stripes of Newcastle defending the goal in front of the Kop in the first half. Liverpool shooting from left to right, all in red with thick white trim. Later, Jamie O'Hara and Neil Razor-Ruddock take your calls on the sports bar. We've got the darts right now. TalkSport 2. Tomorrow night, we're at West Ham Brighton. Jeff Stelling, MBE, will wake you up in the morning with Dean Saunders. But right now, Stuart Pearce, it's Liverpool against Newcastle, and Newcastle have to be very careful not to get blitzed early on.
Yeah, they need to get involved in the game. I'm looking down here and seeing Joe Linton. Looks as though he's starting on the left-hand side, Gordon on the right, and I don't know whether his job's going to be help out dealing with Salah on this side of the pitch.
Well, that probably is the instruction from Eddie Howe, a tactical tweak from Eddie Howe and Jason Tindall, but it's Liverpool quickly on the attack with Salah down the right side looking for Endo, who plays in Szoboszlai. He shoots, it's blocked by the captain of the night, Byrne, and it's cleared to halfway. Alisson is the Liverpool goalkeeper. The back four, Alexander-Arnold, Konate, Van Dijk and Gomez playing at left back. Szoboszlai, Endo and Jones in midfield, and then it's Salah, Nunez and Diaz up top for Liverpool. The Newcastle team, Dubravka in goal, his 8th start in a row. Tino Livramento plays at right back. Fabian Schär, Botman and Byrne the back four. Guimaraes will hold in midfield with Lewis Miley and Sean Longstaff. Joel Linton on the left, Gordon on the right. Isaac is the lone striker. You're listening to TalkSport live at Anfield on a cold, wet, windy night just off the Mersey. The ball on the right side with Salah. Down the touchline it goes, trickling along the white line into Alexander-Arnold. His clearance, his ball into the box is cleared by Schär. Breaks to the edge of the box and retrieved by Jones. Now Diaz inside the area towards Mo Salah, and he manages just to get it half cleared, and it comes back towards Alexander-Arnold, takes a deflection and goes just right of the upright now for the first corner of the game. I watched Manchester United ride an early storm here the other Sunday, Stuart Pearce, when in truth I thought that they were extremely fortunate to come out of that first 15 minutes unscathed. But once they've done that, they had a foundation, a sense of defiance, and Newcastle look like they're going to have to ride that too.
Well, I've got to say, I've seen too many Premier League teams come out and just feel each other out for those first tentative minutes. I think Liverpool got it spot on, personally.
In towards the near post, it's headed away by Byrne. The corner goes back to Luis Diaz and then on to Wataru Endo, whose cross is fielded by Joel Linton. and up towards halfway. It's a fast start by Liverpool, putting the pressure on. 2 minutes gone. Liverpool 0, Newcastle 0. The ball on the far side with Wataru Endo. Gets it back to Curtis Jones, left angle of the penalty area. And then it's all the way back to the halfway line and Joe Gomez, and he finds Ibrahima Konate. Newcastle have hit a real slump that has seen them limp out of the Carabao Cup, knocked out of the Champions League, and tumble down to 9th in the Premier League. And they want to start putting points on the board, and Eddie Howe saying in his pre-match interview they would need to show that defensive defiance like Manchester United did here a couple of weeks ago. He was learning from that. Here is Jones twirling away from Gordon, who kicks out of him on the edge of the penalty area, left side. That's going to be a free kick in a dangerous position, and a slightly impetuous thing to do by Anthony Gordon.
Yeah, he's gone round the wrong side to try and deal with the ball from Jones, and it was a mistake in the first aspect, and he's just had a nibble at him before he's got in the box, fortunately for him. But just going back to that point, so many teams fart around with the ball early stages of games.
Is that a technical term?
It is a very technical term. Instead of going after the opposition, why wouldn't you do what Liverpool do? Go after them with high energy.
They certainly have done that in the last in the Manchester United game, in this game. Arsenal did it actually to them in the match last Saturday night. It was about 10 days ago now. 3.5 minutes gone. Liverpool 0, Newcastle 0. Attacking the Copper way to outright. This free kick like a short hockey corner from the Liverpool left, so it's an in-swinger from the right foot of Trent Alexander-Arnold, who tries to go towards that near post, away by Livramento, bobbles for Salah edge of the area, he tees it up for Gomez, and then in the centre of the field he'll float the ball out to the far touchline. It's taken down well by Alexander-Arnold, who progresses down that touchline left side, being marshalled by Gordon. He turns him and fires the ball into the box. It's away by Bruno Guimaraes, and then Livramento gets fouled by Diaz. It's going to be a free kick on the edge of the penalty area. It's been a fascinating start to the game, and everything we hoped it would be. The first 4 minutes have rocketed by, but it's still goalless on TalkSport, and Liverpool have started fast, but Newcastle have got to make sure that they're just a little bit careful in these early exchanges, because I was talking to someone earlier on today, if you lose a couple of goals in the first 10 minutes against this mob, you are in real trouble.
You are, because they're such a good counter-attack side with so much energy. It plays into Liverpool's hands. You've just got to try and, from Newcastle's point of view, wrestle momentum away from them and get a succession of passing together.
But they almost brought the ball out from the back, and then Gordon again is penalised for another foul down that left-hand side, this time on Curtis Jones. And it's going to be a free kick about 5 steps in from the left touchline. That's 2 now. He's not going to get away with a third one and escape without a booking. And we've only played 5 minutes.
Yeah, a couple of niggling little fouls. From the make-up of Liverpool's midfield three, we've already had Szoboszlai driving into an inside right position, going beyond the defence, and Curtis Jones.
It's a quick start from Liverpool. Newcastle looking a little bit tentative. They're holding a line on the edge of the 18-yard box here as the free kick comes in from the far side. 7 or 8 steps in from the left touchline now, taken by Szoboszlai towards the far post. It's caught by the goalkeeper, and it will be cleared away by Martin Dubravka. Newcastle were incredibly hard to beat last season. This is not the case this campaign. Boxing Day, they were pulled apart like the leftover turkey. That defeat to Forest, one of 8 Premier League losses this season. They only had 5 all of the last campaign. Well, that's a poor ball by Joel Linton, who came back on Boxing Day from a hamstring injury, straight to Luis Diaz, who hasn't scored in the Premier League since that equaliser against Luton. And it's eventually cleared by Cher upfield. It takes a little bounce and goes over the head of Konate, and then Isak will chase it, but Van Dijk does enough to get it back to Alisson, who's making his 250th appearance in goal today for Liverpool, and it's quite an illustrious list of goalkeepers that have managed that. Ray Clements on that list, David James on that list, Bruce Grobbelaar on that list. Here is Guimaraes into Gordon, who tries to slalom his way past 2 challenges, and then Joe Gomez with a rather lunging challenge inside the centre circle, and Gordon has gone down, and that is going to be a free kick. He drew that challenge with a little bit of skill there, Gordon. He was too quick for Gomez, who went sliding in and completely missed the ball. It was well late.
Yeah, it was. As I say, it deserved a booking, but it wasn't a bookable offence in the referee's mind, because Gordon had already made 2 challenges that didn't receive a booking, in my mind.
Yeah, so he couldn't then turn around and book Joe Gomez for that sort of challenge. We played 7 minutes. The ball from that free kick, drifted towards the edge of the box. Byrne has kept it alive down by the corner flag. It was a little bit too long from the Brazilian Bruno Guimarães, and a heavy touch from Joel Linton sends the ball straight out of play. The Newcastle fans have made the journey across from east to west. They're all wrapped up, standing up in the Anfield Road end, the newly opened Anfield Road end. It's taken the capacity up to 57,000. Longstaff is going to get the better of Szoboszlai here as they attempt to play out from the back. They've given it away to Isak, edge of the area, space wide right for Lewis Miley, who cracks one. It's blocked by Joe Gomez and smuggled behind and away for a corner. Well, Liverpool a little bit casual, playing out from the back and handing an opportunity to Newcastle, and Lewis Miley maybe just took an extra touch too many, and that allowed Joe Gomez to get across and block the effort.
Yeah, as I say, it was a good ball out by Alisson, but Szoboszlai just took too long on the ball, and it was a good recovery challenge by Longstaff that set the attack in motion.
He's important, isn't he, Sean Longstaff? They're delighted to have him back from injury, and he takes this corner kick, which outfoxes the goalkeeper. He got a little bump off Bruno Guimarães. I think the ball went straight out of the play anyway, and it's going to be a goal kick away to our left, and immediately dispatched upfield by Alisson looking for Salah, but his radar was off, his kick was rushed, and as a result of that, the ball goes back to Martin Dubravka via Sven Botman, and they are able to clear. Upfield, chested down by Konate in that centre circle, and the ball goes out of play over on the far side. It's a Liverpool throw. 0-0, TalkSport, 9 minutes play.
I tell you what, Newcastle have cleared the ball up to the centre forward on a couple of occasions, and Isak, for me, I'd like to see more of a physical presence. You're a lone striker in a game like this. Your team are going to get penned in. You've got to chase lost causes and be a little bit more aggressive, in my mind, to put pressure on the Liverpool defenders.
He's putting pressure on now, but it hasn't managed to yield him getting hold of the ball. It goes back to Alisson, then wide to the left and Virgil van Dijk. Liverpool have been top for 14 of the last 23 nights, and staying there is what counts. And we've had 10 minutes of the Liverpool onslaught. Actually, it was only about 5 or 6 because Newcastle went up the other end and had a little test of their own. But here come Liverpool again down the right with Salah moving towards the edge of the area. They did score after 5 minutes on Boxing Day through Darwin Núñez. Got off to a really good start there and actually could have taken the game away from Burnley and didn't manage it. Well defended by Newcastle, run it clear, and then Joel Linton is brought down about 6 yards outside his box, and it's away for a free kick just on the edge of the Newcastle penalty area. Jurgen Klopp all wrapped up in a big stadium jacket, got a snood on tonight as well. The waterproofs are out because it is teeming with rain here in Merseyside tonight. Good turn by Joe Gomez down the left here. The return ball that sent him down the touchline, brilliantly defended by Tino Livramento. Dives in, tries to play it against Gomez, but it does go out for a corner to the home team. Interesting, isn't it, Gomez? His 233rd appearance for club and country, never scored a goal, but he has had 11 shots in his last 16 appearances, so he's certainly getting a little bit closer. But he's no left back, but he's being asked to play there because of the injuries to Tsimikas and to Andy Robertson, both of whom are going to be out for a little while longer yet. Corner far side, taken by Dominik Szoboszlai. The Hungarian whips it in right-footed right into the centre of the 6-yard box, punched away by Dubravka, recycled by Alexander-Arnold, steered clear by Livramento. It'll go to halfway and Salah will win it back for Liverpool and just feed Joe Gomez. Forward it comes through the middle of the park towards Luis Diaz, who's on the edge of the centre circle. A long raking pass by Endo out to this near side, inaccurate. Byrne intervenes and Guimarães brings it clear, and then it's stabbed out by Konate. It did come off Bruno Guimarães last, but the linesman on the near side didn't see it.
No, he didn't. It definitely got that one wrong. I've got to say, the tempo of this game's been superb, hasn't it, Sam? You know, from both teams.
Yep. Darwin Núñez has just had his first touch. He's picked the ball up on the edge of the area. He's fed the ball out towards the right-hand side. Then got the return. Shot, brilliant save by Dubravka. Comes back to Jones, cleared off the line superbly by the defender. Fabian Schär getting in the right place at the right time. Two big chances thwarted. Comes to the edge of the box. Endo with an effort, well wide of goal. Well, Darwin Núñez hasn't done much in the game, but he made himself a shooting opportunity there. Good save from Dubravka, and from the rebound, Jones's effort was blocked right in front of the goalkeeper by Fabian Schär.
Well, what set that up was the ball through the lines from Trent Alexander. A great ball into Núñez's feet. He got turned and then from that moment on it was panic stations in the Newcastle back line, and fortunately for Newcastle they got players recovered into good positions.
A good chance for them. Been a fast start to the game for Liverpool on the front foot again, and the ball's drifted into the box by Salah, headed away by Cher, up towards Joe Linton, who doesn't hold on to it, but Longstaff wins it back. And Livramento, who was terrific in the game that we went to in Paris when they played PSG and deserved a little bit more, has given the ball away after being harassed by Nunez. They'll have to defend a little bit like they did in the Parc des Princes, where they really had to earn their corn. Joel Linton earning his corn, going beyond Trent Alexander-Arnold, but was a little bit too physical. Is that right?
No. For me, no. There was one person going to get that ball first, and it was Joe Linton, and I think, like any good defender, Trent tried to take his ground in front of him. I wouldn't have given it that way. But just going back to Nunez, tracking back at sprint speed, and then from there Salah sprinting at his fullback as well to shut him down, Sam. That's why they're such an effective team, Liverpool.
Absolutely. It's all about the team ethic, isn't it? Everyone has to do their job, everyone has to work hard. If you don't work hard, you get hooked and replaced by somebody else. The good thing is Liverpool have the ability to do that. Longstaff spots the run of Gordon, but couldn't find the pass out towards the far side. The idea was Wright needed to go a little bit further wide, it was too central, and it was guided back to the goalkeeper Alisson by Virgil van Dijk. Right, Darts on the Radio, absolutely brilliant, over on TalkSport 2. Ian Danta, part of our commentary team there, and he does it brilliantly, and he's going to give us an update on what's happening now.
Big story developing here, Sam, because Michael van Gerwen, the world number 2, is trading 3-2 in a race to 5 to the man from Boston, Lincolnshire, Scott Williams, who's ranked number 52 in the world. He broke MVG in the 5th set with a 90 checkout to set up the set win. He only needs 2 more sets. Van Gerwen looks listless. If you take it in leg count, Williams is beating him 12 legs to 6. The action is unfolding live right now on TalkSport 2.
What about Rob Cross coming back from 4-0 down to complete a darting miracle earlier on today? He is live tomorrow on The Breakfast Show with Jeff Stelling. Tune your radios in from 6 o'clock. And Jeff's got his hands full tomorrow. He's got Super Dean Saunders with him tomorrow. Dean, always great company. And he's on tomorrow with Jeff. That'll be a lively show. Looking forward to that. 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. TalkSport Superstar Breakfast. Jeff Stelling back in the Jeff Stelling MBE now, isn't it? I forgot. Yeah. Here is Guimaraes into Longstaff, trying to turn. Alexander-Arnold pinches the ball and wins it back for Liverpool high up, steered away by Cher to the middle of the Liverpool half, and then Virgil van Dijk returns it, sticks it down the right channel, and they've got to be a little bit careful here. Byrne realised that Alexander-Arnold was lurking on his shoulder, cleared it to Joel Linton, he brings it out, and then Guimaraes with a heavy touch, and then a little swipe at Wataru Endo, and it's going to be a free kick 12 yards back from the edge of the penalty area. They just had a little bit of trouble getting out of that defensive position there, Newcastle.
They're totally surprising with the energy on the press that Liverpool offer you when they're out of possession. It's quite incredible. I'm just thinking, once we get we'll explore this a little bit more. Gordon playing on the right hand side rather than the left hand side, do you think that's more beneficial? Because at the moment Liverpool are still free flowing down Salah's side of this pitch.
Yeah, well, it hasn't stopped Mo Salah, has it, in his tracks, that's for sure. You just wonder whether or not sometimes you're better off leaving your fast winger who does all the tricks and drags you up the pitch. And that sort of helps itself as the ball goes in towards the edge of the 6-yard box and it's headed over by Darwin Nunez. Sometimes giving your defenders something to think about actually will stop the flow of Alexander-Arnold and Salah coming down that way because they're too worried about him.
Well, whenever I used to play, if teams put against me a defensive player, that just gives me encouragement to go forward as a fullback.
Stuart Pearce, who knows what it's like to don the black and white stripes of Newcastle United. Here is Salah getting the better of Botman. He runs on the outside of him. Botman is backpedaling and he's into the area now and he clips it towards the far post. It's steered away by Cher and he heads the ball out on the far side, the left, towards the left side of the box, and Diaz will recycle it. Liverpool on the attack once again at ferocious speed. They bring the ball forward and they're always a threat, and there seems to be so many of them. They flex back into a tight shape here, Newcastle, to try and repel their opponents. We played 17 minutes, 17 goalless minutes on TalkSport, game day exclusive on TalkSport. With Now, and don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action like Liverpool, Newcastle United live tonight for $11.99, no contract. Search Now Sports.
When you get 2 minutes, just have a look at Hugh. He looks like a villain out of a Dan Brown novel.
Here's Nunez through the centre, played in beautifully, gives it back to Luis Diaz, and he fires the ball in, and the offside flag goes up. Well, Liverpool stole the march there, and there was a decent ball forward into Darwin Nunez, who looked as if he was in behind, and then Luis Diaz went away to celebrate after he was given the ball by Darwin Nunez, but the flag was up very quickly on this near side.
I've got to say, this is really tight.
Offside.
Just offside. But what I've got to say is Nunez, symptomatic of him, has got himself in a great position, but he just so long on getting the finish away. It should be one touch, two touch straight away. He's dallied on it, got caught, but Diaz followed up and said, this is how you put it in the net, my friend.
I did like those Dan Brown novels. They were quite rip-roaring, weren't they? Page-turners.
They were very good, actually.
VAR is checking to see whether or not this goal is offside.
Yep.
Because actually...
Yeah, it is.
Well, it's tight. It's really tight. There is a player possibly at the near side playing him on. It's Dan Burn on this near side. We can't really see because once you zoom in so quickly, it becomes like a pixelated shape. He looks like a sensible soccer character from 1997. You couldn't tell who it was. It's very tight.
As they all are these days. I tell you what, the lines folk this day and age get it right so often, it's incredible.
Yeah, they probably deserve more credit than they get.
100%.
It looks... I'm being told sensible soccer was earlier than 1997. Sorry, I didn't get the exact date. I think it's the 90s. What are we getting here? Offside. There we are. Offside. So after all that, it was a little bit more offside than even it looked on the cameras. So it's still 0-0. But that's a real worry for Newcastle. So far got away with it. Here they come with Lewis Miley down the right-hand side, trying to feed the ball towards the edge of the box. Comes back infield for Luis Diaz. It runs clear. He's had a goal chalked off. Well won that by Livramento. And then he played a poor ball infield to Miley, and it's been turned over by Szoboszlai, who plays it to Nunez. Steps over the ball. Comes through to Diaz. He goes down. Penalty kick surely. Well, Dan Burn is pleading his innocence and saying that there was no foul. Luis Diaz went down in a couple of stages. They want a VAR check, Newcastle. But Anthony Taylor gave himself some thinking time. He consulted with Gary Bezic, his assistant on this near side, and he gave the penalty after about 2 or 3 seconds. The ball was played into the box. Luis Diaz juggled with it. It was a challenge by Fabian Schär, actually. He says he didn't get a touch on it. Burn let him go. And I'm not sure whether that is a penalty, actually, when I've looked at the replay.
Well, what I would say, I think there's been a slight contact there, which, you know, when you... Diaz is getting ready to put his left foot down. He's going such a high velocity. I think there's a little nick on it which makes your landing platform slightly off centre.
So are you telling me it's a penalty or not a penalty? Is there enough there for a penalty?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, well, it'll be reviewed by Stuart Atwell. There has to be clear and obvious evidence to overturn it, bearing in mind what we saw happen with John Duran. We haven't had any communication at this moment in time that it is even being looked at on the big scoreboards here. Well, not that they're big scoreboard, they're a little sliver of scoreboards. It's something that I think they should improve now they've got their new stand away to our left-hand side. But we haven't had any communication from the VAR as to what that is. The key thing here is one, was there enough contact? If the referee thought there was contact and there wasn't any, then there will be a situation where that won't be overturned. But I think, as far as we can tell by the way the players are moving, it looks like this penalty is going to be given. And they believe there was enough contact, and Mo Salah has the opportunity to score from the spot his 150th Premier League goal for Liverpool. The man who's got a goal or an assist in 17 of the last 18 Premier League home games. He has missed 3 of his last 9 penalties. Martin Dubravka stands on the line. A penalty kick for Liverpool in the 22nd minute of the game. Salah steps up, left footed, saved by Dubravka, comes back and it's fired over the top by Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's a really good save and not a great penalty from Mo Salah. That's now 4 of the last 10 that he's missed.
Well, Salah's hit that with good violence, left-footed, whipping it across his body. Oh, he's almost smashed it down the middle, but just off-centre, if you like.
It's too close to the goalkeeper,
It
isn't
is, and Dubravka's done well. He's held his ground as long as he could, got 2 solid hands on it, but the incredible thing was, following up with a clear run at the ball was Trent Alexander, and his hitch kick has just skewed over the crossbar. 2 good opportunities to take the lead.
The goal disallowed and a missed penalty from Liverpool. I mean, it's still 0-0 and Dubravka makes a save. And Mo Salah, who is going to go away to the AFCON, we assume after this game, because they were supposed to be with their teams today, given dispensation to play tonight. And as a result, it is a still goalless game. Here is Luis Diaz down the left-hand side, but this Newcastle defence is living a charmed life at this moment in time. The ball's on the edge of the area. Jones with a shot, saved down low to his right by Dubravka. Well, they can't continue like this, Newcastle, or they will concede.
Well, I'll tell you what, as you've got to do when you come to Liverpool in any decade, your goalkeeper's got to be the best player on the pitch, and certainly at this moment in time, Dubravka is that for Newcastle.
It's not a great penalty, but it is a good save. And it's Liverpool 0, Newcastle 0. And Liverpool, who have drawn their last 2 here, snips that don't occur too often. They haven't drawn 3 Premier League games in a row at Anfield since 2017.
I think Liverpool show when Newcastle are back in slot, they're not well, they are threatened, but not as much as if you give the ball away in the mid-band of the pitch. That's where the penalty come from. All of a sudden you think you're in a good position looking to go forward, and Liverpool, the pressure they put on from midfield, front strikers all squeezing, sprinting at you to shut you down is incredible.
Van Dijk moves the ball out of defence into midfield, then up to the halfway line, clips it out wide towards Salah. Burn comes across to engage. Salah goes infield. Burn does engage. The ball ricochets into Newcastle's path, but again that pressure on from Jones, this time a legal pressure, gives away a free kick to Newcastle midway inside their own half. Liverpool 0, Newcastle 0 on Talk Sport. Remember, tomorrow we've got live commentary of West Ham United against Brighton. West Ham have got a few missing tomorrow, and you were a little bit concerned about that, weren't you, when you were going through the team earlier on today? Oh, that's a mistake. Lewis Miley's given it straight back down the left towards Diaz, and into the box it goes to Jones, and a challenge comes in. Brilliant challenge, recovery challenge by Tino Livramento to steer the ball behind and away for a corner kick. But they had a free kick, played it backwards as square, and then Lewis Miley casually gave it straight to Luis Diaz, and that was a mistake.
Well, this is Newcastle's undoing if they're not careful, giving it away in cheap areas where they think they're playing out and spreading to play, and Liverpool are so effective at pressing.
Corner far side, and whipped in by Szoboszlai to the edge of the area. Trent Alexander-Arnold has to chest it down and then funnel it forward, and then it's missed and it comes back to Virgil van Dijk, who hits it against on-rushing defenders. I mean, a few of the Newcastle players came out there thinking that they had the ball. They hadn't. It bobbled behind them. And that was another sloppy moment. It wasn't a great corner kick. They've taken another short one quickly. Back to Szoboszlai. That delivery's better. Konate goes up with a header, and it goes out and away for a goal kick. Konate, who hasn't scored for Liverpool since the FA Cup semi-final in April 2022 against Manchester City.
You look at Liverpool, they do not miss an opportunity to put the ball in the box from wide areas. They don't miss an opportunity to play forward between the lines, and they don't miss an opportunity to run without the ball as well in behind your back line, and that makes them such an effective side.
Blowing out of the cheeks by Jurgen Klopp as the ball goes forward over the halfway line. Little push in the back from Konate on Joel Linton. And then the ball comes back his way again. Alexander-Arnold dabs it down towards Konate, who hoiks it into the air. It's forward by Cher, and then poked further forward by Sean Longstaff. Van Dijk didn't realise that Gordon was coming behind him at rapid speed, and Alisson then kicks it out over on the far side. As a result, Liverpool 0, Newcastle 0, and they're just about getting through this, Newcastle, and they did say before the game that they thought they were going to have to do that. Overall, Newcastle's form has been pretty bad, but away from home it's been even worse. Only Sheffield United have picked up fewer away points this season than Newcastle. Here comes Szoboszlai after miscommunication between Bruno and Byrne. It goes infield towards Salah, who tries to return it, and Bruno gets there and then doesn't get there as he goes scything in to Wataru Endo and gets a yellow card for mistiming the challenge.
Yeah, the referee doing his level best not to do any bookwork this new year, but on that occasion, just stretching, Guimaraes just stretching too much. I don't think he's pulled his leg away from it, but Endo made sure that he carried on the run, and it was minimal contact, but enough for a yellow in this day and age.
No one wants to do any admin at this stage of the year, though, do
you
they?
Don't.
Unless
you really don't.
You know what I mean? 28 minutes gone. Liverpool 0, Newcastle 0. The only sort of adding up you want to do is how many quality streets are left in the bottom of the box. Not a quality street fan?
I'll have anything. To be fair, anything that's under my nose gets gone.
Here's Alexander-Arnold towards the far post. It drops off Van Dijk's head and then hooked up by Konate, steered away by Cher up towards the halfway line, and it's back with Gomez, who switches the play from the left edge of the centre circle out to the right. Then it goes infield to Jones, and then Jones across to Szoboszlai. Now space for Wataru Endo. He might get a strike in here. Cuts infield, right-footed. It's a daisy cutter, which is easily blocked by Cher, and it's cleared out on this near side.
So you've just seen another instance there where it's Isak and Gomez up the pitch together. The ball gets cleared, and Gomez just comes through the back of Isak and deals with the ball. Little things like that, he's got to do a lot better for his team.
And there was an incident, when Van Dijk headed the ball down, it hit Joel Linton. His arm was outstretched and it hit the top of his arm. I don't know whether or not VAR checked it, but there was definitely no pause in play here.
Well, it's in close quarters though, wasn't it? I've got to say.
Yes. I'm not sure whether that negates it, depending on how high and wide your body is. If you make your body unnaturally bigger, I'm told that distance does not come into it anymore. Here's Nunez. Plays the ball back to Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai from distance strikes off the body of Botman, and then eventually it's cleared by Newcastle. It's all Liverpool at this moment in time. Half an hour gone in the game. Liverpool 0, Newcastle 0. Here's Szoboszlai trying to turn under pressure from Guimaraes. It's worked out to the wide right. Salah trying to beat Byrne. Plays it against Byrne. Keeps going. Still holding on to the ball despite the attentions of the big 6'7" man. Then he gives it away, and Joel Linton could be escaping here up over the halfway line. Pokes it into Isak, and now there's a counter attack on. Isak running towards the middle of the penalty area, plays a poor ball to Gomez, and then the poor kick by Alisson gives it back to Newcastle when they thought they'd cleared it. Isak onto Guimaraes, edge of the area, needs an outlet. Liverpool getting back in numbers now. Salah putting pressure on. The ball goes back to Bruno Guimaraes, into Joel Linton, onto Isak, through the legs, gets a return, into the area, left-footed shot, deflected behind and away. Now, wouldn't have counted anyway, because I think there was an offside flag up, but it was a really good move, the best of the match by Newcastle.
And it's not a good sign for Newcastle. Joe Linton's just sat on the floor. I think it's Joe Linton, yes it is. Oh, he's up again. That was interesting when you just come back from a hamstring injury.
Yeah, he's back on his feet again. It's currently Liverpool 0, Newcastle 0. Liverpool have missed the penalty. The latest odds are available at Ladbrokes, where right now you can get Liverpool at 10-3 on, Newcastle 17-2, the draw 19-5. That's all thanks to Ladbrokes 18+. BeGambleAware.org. Shall we head off to the darts and Alexandra Palace? Here's TalkSport's Ian Danter.
And the intrigue continues, Sam, because at the moment it is Scott Williams 4-3 up on mighty Michael van Gerwen in this World Championship quarter-final. So the man from Lincolnshire only needs one more set to advance. It was 3-2 to him. Van Gerwen won 3 legs in a row to bring it back to 3 sets all. But he's just broken the throw, Williams, to hold double top, to go 4-3 up, a chance to get into the last 4 of the Worlds in only his second visit to Ali Pali. All the action's unfolding live right now on TalkSport 2.
Got a long drive tonight, by the way.
Long enough, yeah. 3.5.
Well, listen, starts on the radio. You know what you can do? With the TalkSport app, you download it, you can go back in the schedule and listen back to it. So on the way home, you can listen to the darts and pretend it's live.
Oh, thank you.
There you go. I'd like to be of service.
You're very kind sorting my life out for me.
No problem. I just like to give you a little bit of helping hand every now and again. I'm just pleased that now you can use a pair of AirPods. You can actually listen to the TalkSport app. You didn't even know it did that, your phone, until last week. Here is Jones down the right-hand side, motoring down into the right edge of the penalty area, plays the ball into the centre looking for Salah, flicked into the air, drops for Diaz. Diaz with a lovely bit of skill, but Miley's there to engage, and now Gordon for Newcastle looks to spring a chance to break, and he's done just that. Oh, Miley's rushed it. It's come back out towards this near side. He's got it back again, to be fair to him, after it took a big deflection off the side of the head of Curtis Jones. And Newcastle have it once again, but blimey, I tell you what, I'm terrified just holding on to the microphone. I think someone in red is going to press me for it. They're darting around, putting pressure on Liverpool. Here's Miley inside the area, picking the ball up but then losing control. There's a good move again by Newcastle, and Alisson's just determined to get it away because of a little bit of pressure from Newcastle. And certainly Newcastle turning up a bit of the intensity and pressure themselves now. We've played 33 minutes. It's a really intriguing game, this. You look at the statistics, 66% possession for Liverpool, 33 for Newcastle. More passes, more accurate passes. As far as shots are concerned, 14 already from Liverpool, just the one from Newcastle. 3 on target from Liverpool, none on target from Newcastle.
Yeah, and what will be worrying Freddie, I think, is when they have given possession away, Liverpool have been all over them and obviously created chances, and the penalty coming from that, from the turnover of possession.
It's like a siege every time a Newcastle player receives the ball. There's just red shirts over them like a rash. When they do get out, they can cause problems, and they could do here because Joe Linton's is speeding into the box, and Anthony Gordon's cross is too big for him. The idea was right, but he just hit and hope really, rather than trying to bend that ball into a dangerous area. The three of them, Isaac, Joe Linton and Gordon, did get in behind there, and there was just an opportunity to test the two central defenders.
I'll tell you what, the last clearance from Alisson was magnificent. I don't think you give him credit for that. It's come across his body and heading towards his sort of left-hand side. He's chasing the ball and he's cleared it, stroke past it with the outside of his right foot, probably about 35 metres.
I agree. As soon as I said it, I saw it float into the path of Diaz, and I immediately felt guilty. He did, you're right. He sort of shaped it with the outside of his boot, didn't it? And it just flew nicely into the path of Diaz. Bruno Guimaraes is back on his feet after he was fouled, and there was a quick free kick which was taken by Newcastle. We're coming down that right-hand side again with 10 minutes before half-time. Tino Livramento runs diagonally from left to right and then into the centre, gives it to Isaac, skips past one challenge, and Jones was intervening and almost passed it to Joel Linton. It's a problem here because Darwin Núñez has outmuscled the defender, and he's gone round past the goalkeeper and shot and blocked by Dubravka, who gets back at the second attempt. Comes back to Núñez again, right-footed, punched away by Dubravka again, and then comes to the edge of the area, and it's with Wataru Endo. Back to Alexander-Arnold, into Darwin Núñez once more, away by Longstaff, and still Liverpool haven't found a way through this stubborn Newcastle defence. There's a little bit more luck than judgment. I mean, Sven Botman has just been brushed off the ball by Núñez as the ball was played forward there, and he should have scored, shouldn't he, Núñez?
Well, what's happened is, because Liverpool are chasing everything, they put the fear of God into the Newcastle players, and it was the fear of being chased down quickly made him panic and give the ball away. But Núñez should have done a lot better, no doubt.
Yeah, I think Botman could feel the hot breath of Núñez on his neck. Here is Alex under Isaac, getting the ball on the edge of the area, back to the far post, header into the net at the far post. An offside flag goes up against Dan Burn, who made the run down the left-hand side to steer the ball home. It was a brilliant header from Dan Burn, but the offside flag was up.
Yeah, it was Isaac, I think, in the build-up. He's passed out wide. I thought he could have done a bit better in the pass out wide, if I'm being honest. Yeah, just off.
Just. Very tight indeed.
Once again, the officials are fantastic at getting these right. I don't know how well they do it. and Joe Linton's gone down once again, and I tell you what, 3 strikes and you're out. I think I'm surprised if he has got this groin problem.
Yeah, well, Joe Linton's down, receiving treatment once more. They are checking the disallowed goal for offside, and Isaac and Byrne are nervously waiting. Dan Byrne, who got the header, is just, I mean, I think it's offside from looking at the pictures that we've seen. I don't think does it require the lines? I suppose everything has to, but it's going to take a long time when really I think we already know what the outcome is going to be. And sometimes you get surprised by these things, I don't know. This is TalkSport, and you are listening to Game Day exclusive on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has 450 branches with all the vehicles your business needs. Goal is offside. So both teams have had a goal chalked out for offside.
Well, Joe Linton looks as though he's coming back on. Now, this is the second time he's been down on the turf this evening, and when you're coming back from a muscular injury, you've got to wonder whether he's going to see the game out or even the half out.
And we don't have too much of the half to play now, do we? And it's Liverpool 0, Newcastle 0, with 7 minutes to go before the break. Salah on this near side. Joe Linton wants to come back on. Burns thundered the ball at the Egyptian in the left full-back position. It then bounced back to Longstaff, who's lolloped the ball out for a throw-in on this near side. I think the conditions are causing a bit of an issue as well. Swirly rain and wind just stopping the ball, holding the ball up when it goes very high in the air. I think that might be an excuse for Botman earlier on when Darwin Nunez was putting pressure on him. No, you're not having that, are you? I'm trying to be nice.
Sheer panic, sheer fear that you're being shut down by someone who's going at 100 miles an hour. That's what that was about.
To be honest with you, I was scared, to be honest, just standing up here. Here is Luis Diaz out to the left. It's played back to Gomez, who floats the ball into the penalty area. It's a little bit high. Comes back to Alexander-Arnold, who volleys the ball and he hits the top of the crossbar. From about a 5-degree angle, almost by the byline, he's volleyed the ball goalwards. It's taken a nick off the top of the crossbar and gone out for a throw-in. I mean, that is a sensational hit from Trent Alexander-Arnold, and he's almost caught the goalkeeper out.
Well, he's actually at the far post, yes, believe it or not, and not the crossbar, which makes it an even better effort from exactly, we're talking he's 1 metre from the touchline, outside the box on the right-hand side. An incredible strike.
The angle was impossible and his technique was sensational, and it went over the goalkeeper's head and just hit the top of the post, the sort of angle between crossbar and post on the far side, and then went out for a throw-in. It was terrific and so close to being a Liverpool opener. And they've had a few chances. Trent Alexander-Arnold's missed a good chance. Nunez has missed a good chance as well, saved by Dubravka, and they've missed a penalty in this first half. And Newcastle have had a disallowed goal of their own, as Liverpool have too, for offside, marginal offside. It's still goalless on TalkSport.
I've got to say, if Newcastle can get in the dressing room with Neil against them, they have done brilliantly well. And Liverpool, well, you're going to be thinking, how haven't we scored?
Well, he says he can't remember the first game of 2023. It was nothing to do with a New Year's Eve hangover. It was probably because his memory has just tried to erase the bruising encounter at Brentford that we brought you live last year on TalkSport. 3-1, they lost that game, and they probably could have lost it by more. It was a chastening evening, but the year has certainly got better. Here is Diaz, edge of the D, as they come forward again. Oh, it's a little bit behind Curtis Jones, and it will be cleared away by Livramento from the right full-back position for Newcastle. 0-0 the score. And again, they look a threat every time they come forward, Liverpool, and actually even when they are not coming forward, they're a threat. Here's Bruno Guimaraes, just skipping past 2 challenges and opening up the pitch, and he's disappointed that when he played it down the right side, Anthony Gordon hadn't gone on a dart, and as a result, Gomez was able to tidy up in the left full-back position and get it back to Alisson, and it remains 0-0.
I'll tell you what, Newcastle turn the ball over and they get it up, and they're probably midway inside their own half and think they're in comfortable possession. But Liverpool's press with 3, 4, 5 players at times, you know if they do turn it over, they're in on goal.
Newcastle have turned it over. Salah wanted a foul. He was waved away by Anthony Taylor. Livramento's got it in the right channel, sends it back to Guimaraes, 10 yards from the box. right side, goes back centrally to Cher. They spread the play to the right, and it's on to Livramento. Miley goes on a dart in behind Gomez, then plays it into Gordon, who tries to roll the defender and slipped as he did so, gives the ball away, and here come the counter-attack, and they do counter-attack at speed, and Szoboszlai has run across Joel Linton, who's dragged him to the floor. Referee said play on because they've still got it. Everyone stop, but Diaz has found Salah, right edge of the area, sets it back towards Szoboszlai, whose shot is weak, and it's cleared away.
Well, there's a booking coming. Joe Linton pulling back there, but Liverpool once again, they sweep from one end to the pitch to the other, and well done to the referee. 2 advantages, kept the game going.
How on earth is it 0-0? It's been a New Year's Day cracker so far. We've had all sorts of fireworks in this game. We'll get back to the darts and Ian Danta.
Williams has just defeated Michael van Gerwen by 5 sets to 3, ranked number 52 in the world at his second World Championships. He's knocked out the world number 2, holding here for a double 16 checkout to take the match. Sensational stuff live on TalkSport 2. Williams knocks out van Gerwen. Chisnell, Luke Humphreys next.
What a story developing on TalkSport 2. We could have a story developing here as well. Virgil van Dijk chasing down as the ball goes away to our left-hand side. Alexander-Arnold's casual clearance repelled by a header, and in came Alexander Isak running across the defender, and the ball goes out of play. They're complaining here to Anthony Taylor. Mo Salah's not happy because they haven't booked Joel Linton.
Yeah, and rightly so. I would have thought he'd have gone back to him and booked him. It was a ridiculous challenge, really, you know, and the referee's been very, very kind in offering out bookings to the players so far.
0-0. Corner to Newcastle United to be taken by Gordon on this near side. He is going to whip it in and do so right-footed. Actually, he leaves it short to Bruno Guimaraes. Back it goes to Gordon. Gordon tries to take on Salah, who's still protesting about that yellow card. It's poked down the left. Bruno Guimaraes keeps it alive. He moves towards the edge of the area. Gomez backpedaling. He's got some space. Should have played it back to Longstaff. He didn't. He ended up trying the hard pass, and that's led to a counter-attack. And off goes Salah. Szoboszlai. Poor ball forward. And it's cut out by Dan Burn. They've still got it, Liverpool, in the final minute of the half. Darwin Núñez runs into Longstaff. He robs it, and he clears it through to Joel Linton. But Joel Linton on his heels, beaten to it by Gomez. They've turned it over again, Liverpool. They move up to the edge of the 18-yard box, and Jones swirls round one side and then goes out the other towards the left, and Szoboszlai. They're right up on the perimeter of the penalty area here. This game going pretty much from one end to the other very quickly, but usually spending a lot more time in the Newcastle half of the field than the Liverpool one. But when they do get the ball, they usually counter-attack well. That's a poor ball forward, though, by Gordon, but it's been given straight back to Livramento, who hasn't got an out ball, so has to hold on to it, try and drag his team up the pitch. He's then lost it. Alexander-Arnold's won it back, and now Curtis Jones onto Diaz, with Joel Linton coming from the other side. Play on, says the referee. It looked like a clear foul, and the referee now is absolutely furious. He's going to book Luis Diaz for arguing.
Well, they're up in arms, the Liverpool players, and I've got to say, it looked like a foul to me on the back of Joe Linton, who should have been booked a couple of minutes ago. That's a foul, to be fair. And I'm astounded at the referee not booking Joe Linton for either of the fouls.
Well, really and truly, that could have been 2 yellow cards for Joel Linton, couldn't it?
Well, I've got to give the player a little bit of credit. He wouldn't have made a challenge like that if he'd have already been booked, it's fair to say. But you've got to ask the question. I think the referee's been very good tonight in regard to advantages and that type of thing, but I'm flummoxed by those 2 decisions.
Here is Bruno Guimaraes trying to breach the lines, and he does it. Alexander Isak was in a great position if he had played the ball. He just got his head up there, Guimaraes. Joel Linton striding forward, trying to bundle his way past the Liverpool defence. We've got 5 minutes of added time at the end of the first half on TalkSport. It's still goalless. Mo Salah's missed a penalty. We've had a goal each disallowed, and it's been an absolute blood and thunder encounter. Lewis Miley's gone steaming in on Mo Salah, and that's going to be a yellow card for the young 17-year-old. And Anthony Taylor is turning round and saying to everyone, go away, leave me alone, I will deal with it. Mo Salah's going mad, so is Szoboszlai. Miley's being spoken to, it's a yellow card.
Well, Miley's launched himself off the ground, but I think he's taken the ball. Salah's gone down, and his reaction I think he's not lifted his foot in any way, shape or form, and Salah going down and rolling around a little bit has influenced the referee slightly. He's probably caught him on the follow-through.
It is the follow-through. The booking for.
Yeah, as I say, not much wrong there, but the players have got to help the referee out a little bit as well.
Mo Salah getting increasingly frustrated and screaming and shouting at the referee. Oh, now Jurgen Klopp is having a go at Andy Madley, the fourth official, and the ball is in the centre circle for that free kick, which is distributed upfield. And then Luis Diaz is tussling with Livramento, comes away with the ball, plays it against the Liverpool defender and goes out of play and away for a throw-in over on the far side, the right. It is Liverpool 0, Newcastle 0. Fast start from Liverpool. Miley had a chance, missed it, blocked by Gomez at the other end. Nunez and Jones had good opportunities. Dubravka's made a save, he saved the penalty as well. And Trent Alexander-Arnold missed the rebound. There was an effort from Trent Alexander-Arnold that hit the post. It's been all action this first 45 minutes, but it's still somehow Liverpool 0, Newcastle United 0.
Tell you what, it's been a brilliant spectacle of football. The high energy, everything about the game's been fantastic.
Yep. The only win on the road for Newcastle in the Premier League was that thrashing of Sheffield United earlier in the season. Every other game they've either drawn or lost on their travels away from St James's Park this campaign. Konate is fouled. Free kick given. Liverpool had the ball and they wanted to play the advantage, but Konate's gone down, and when they did play the advantage, the referee said now come back and play the free kick. And Jurgen Klopp again getting a little bit frustrated.
I've got to say, I'm delighted I'm a neutral in this game, because you'd get so frustrated if you're in the technical area, I think, when you've got a foot in either camp.
So far, those two camps have behaved themselves well enough to stay out the referee's notebook. I know they're not great friends. Ball into the area, might come through to Szoboszlai. Oh, Botman did just enough to stick out a foot, and it went through to Dubravka, and it steered it away from Szoboszlai. But he's looked a little bit rusty, Sven Botman, certainly not up to his standards, which helped Newcastle formulate that super defence last campaign, where they basically mounted their Champions League challenge on that solid defence. Byrne sliding back and manages to stop the ball from reaching Salah in the left fullback position. Miley forward to Bruno Guimaraes. It's into Gordon, who tries to hold on to it. He's engaged immediately by Gomez, then goes down, wins a free kick just over the halfway line. We're into the final minute of the first. Oh, that's it. A yellow card for Trent Alexander-Arnold. What for? Shouting at the referee? He's got to be careful, because he's still doing it, and he's had to be dragged away by Konate. And I've seen someone be sent off in 2 minutes, or not even that, in about 7 seconds for 2 yellow cards in this stadium in the not too distant past. Diego Dallo for dissent.
Well, if ever there's a referee alienated the Liverpool fans, we've got one here tonight. They're absolutely livid with the referee, and he's made a couple of decisions that I can quite understand why that frustration is there.
Well, we've nearly played our 5 minutes of time at the end of the first half. The ball's been drifted towards the edge of the box. It's taken on by Darwin Nunez, and this could be the last attack of the first 45. Forward it goes. Stopped by Byrne again, who's got back to intervene, and then given away by Diaz, who slipped on the greasy turf. It's then thundered forward. And there's the half-time whistle. Well, it's not often that a referee gets booed when he's given you a penalty in the first 45 minutes, but that's what's happened to Anthony Taylor, because they feel as if they hasn't got the rub of the green from him. And I think they know the geography of where he lives his life, which is why he's getting chanted at by the Liverpool fans. Newcastle's away form has been truly shocking, but they could be the latest side to come here to Anfield and frustrate Liverpool, where the hosts are facing 3 draws in a row, unless they can come up with those customary late goals in the second half. Half-time of what has been a rather rambunctious first 45 minutes. Liverpool 0, Newcastle 0. Underway at the start of the second half, and Liverpool attacking the goal away to our left in this second half. Newcastle all in black and white stripes and black shorts and white socks, attacking the Kop end after they turned Liverpool around in that first half. It is 0-0, but Liverpool had 18 shots in the first half, the first time that they've had 18 shots in the first 45 minutes of a Premier League game since April 2016 when they played Everton, and in that game, Stuart, they were 2-0 up. In fact, it's only once in 20 years that they had more than 18 shots without scoring in 45 minutes of football. I mean, it was an anomaly that they didn't get on the score sheet.
Yeah, it was an impressive onslaught, there's no doubt about that, and as I say, really unfortunate not to have hit the back of the net in that period.
Jones has it on this near side. No changes at half-time as Liverpool come forward again. Wataru Endo has it just left of the centre circle, plays it infield. It's given to Alexander-Arnold and then back to Szoboszlai. So Liverpool have in goal Alisson, then the right back is Alexander-Arnold, who is booked. Konate, Virgil van Dijk and Gomez are the back four. Then it's Wataru Endo, Szoboszlai and Jones in midfield with Salah, Nunez and Diaz coming forward. And here is Nunez, edge of the area, bumped off the ball by Dan Burn. They want a free kick, they're not going to get it. He's right on the edge of the box when they did that. And Newcastle tried to bring it clear but then ran into Szoboszlai. The ball's been turned over on the edge of the centre circle and it's worked out wide towards the right, collected by Salah. Salah moves up towards the edge of the area, gives it back to Trent Alexander-Arnold, who swells across into the box, taken down by Nunez, couldn't turn on it, and it's away by Botman and over to the halfway line again.
He really is scruffy with his passing and his touches, Nunez. If he actually had a little bit more clinical work with his feet, my goodness, he would be an effective striker.
Is that something he can tidy up?
I'm not sure. Some of it's between your ears, speed of thought, that type of thing, I've got to say. But listen, he's genuine, he chases things, he gets himself into good positions, and then he just takes too long on things or doesn't, the first touch isn't correct.
Well, he certainly will remember the first meeting of the season between these two. Despite trailing, Darwin Nunez scored in the last 10 minutes to give Liverpool the points off the bench. And they have a bit of a thing over Newcastle United to Liverpool. They were the only team to beat them home and away last season. They are 14 unbeaten against Newcastle. Newcastle haven't won here in the Premier League since Andy Cole and Rob Lee helped them to a 2-0 win in April 1994, the 16th of April 1994. Joel Linton goes down the left, moves towards the byline, then cuts it back. It goes through the legs of Curtis Jones, and he drags him back again, and he gets away with it again. Referee says play on, and here comes Szoboszlai through the centre circle, out wide to the left, taken on by Luis Diaz at pace. He runs laterally, skips past one challenge, plays it to the right. It's Nunez into Salah, it's into the back of the net, a tap in front of the Anfield Road end. And those two conspire once again. Nunez provides the assist. Brilliant, actually, to pop it through the 6-yard box for Salah to score his 150th Premier League goal for Liverpool. His 17th of the season. Once again delivers at home here and puts Newcastle on the back foot finally. They threatened to open them up several times in the first half. They missed a penalty, they had a goal disallowed, they missed several chances. Now they think they have finally got themselves on the scoreboard, and no surprise that it's Mo Salah who's put it home.
Well, on that occasion, the ball, they've swept literally from box to box, Liverpool. And Nunez was the one, it played up to him. He was the one who held it up, set up play. He was the one who got in the box and laid an absolute clinical pass on. We're just talking about the ability to lay that clinical pass. Nunez demonstrated he certainly got it in his locker on that occasion.
That's a good goal. And Jurgen Klopp celebrates.
It's a great team goal, that, Sam. Really is.
Well, I'll tell you who also appreciates that, Roberto Firmino, who's back here today, watching on as Mo Salah goes and sits behind the goal and takes in the applause. It's him who sat on the advertising hoardings, and it was 14 seconds from when Liverpool got the ball on the edge of their box to scoring the goal. It was such a fast break, and they do that so very, very well. And Joel Linton at one end was pushing and pulling and tugging. Referee allowed play on. Liverpool went up the other end and got their reward, and they lead by a goal to nil. And actually, the referee probably deserves credit for that.
the referees played a couple of very, very good advantage. Admittedly, it can be pulled up on a couple of instances where yellow should have been shown, but the game's flowed.
Yep, and it's Liverpool who lead, and they're flowing at this moment in time. They finally have their goal after having 18 shots in the first half and not managing to score. They're on the scoreboard now. Mo Salah with his I think it's his goal or assist in 18 of the last 19 Premier League home games. The only one he didn't manage one was in that Manchester United game, but he's managed one here this evening on Merseyside.
And you talk about whether they can afford to let Mo Salah leave the club.
Here he is on the far side, low ball into the near post, it's funneled away by Dubravka. Dubravka just about managed to get it clear. It comes back out to Trent Alexander-Arnold, then goes wide again onto Salah. Salah with a little bit of help, but he's steering the ball through the legs of Joel Linton. He tries to poke it away, comes back to Diaz, back over the top. Salah through towards Nunez. Great save by the goalkeeper. Dubravka makes an instinctive save from Darwin Nunez to stop the second certain goal for Liverpool. And again, they didn't clear the ball properly. Luis Diaz sent it out wide towards the Liverpool right, popped back in by Salah, who returned the favour to Darwin Nunez, and he couldn't steer it home. It was a bit of a sort of hit and hope, really. Just threw himself at the ball, but Dubravka made a really good save.
Well, the intensity of this game, and we said earlier about Liverpool, no matter what the score is, they chase the game to get another one and another one.
Nunez in behind, tries to go and shoot towards the near post. I think that might have been offside anyway, but they're not going to give it, so it goes out for a corner kick. Good save by Dubravka again, and Nunez actually has missed a big opportunity because he got in behind down the right channel, shot towards the near post, and it went over the top.
Yeah, Newcastle just reached for the substitute now. I think Almiron's coming on. I wonder whether it'll be Joe Linton, who's, well, hasn't been booked yet, unbelievably, but...
And he's had injury problems as well.
Yeah, if it's not him, I wonder whether they'll put Gordon out on that left-hand side, Almiron on the right-hand side, and tuck Joe Linton in and bring one of the three midfielders off.
Well, it's going to be 7 defeats in 8 unless they can find a goal. Corner kick delivered from the near side. It's headed into the air by Dan Burn and out the other side once again. It's with Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's crossing towards Nunez, loops towards the goal, and he's headed it high into the air. It goes over the top of the crossbar and goes out and away for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. You're listening to Talk Sport, and we are live at Anfield, and Liverpool have got on the scoreboard thanks to Mo Salah, and that combination between Salah and Nunez causing problems. Actually, I think it came off Darwin Nunez's knee when that ball was played into him by Salah just now, and it was from there that Dubravka had to make that really good save.
Yeah.
Almiron for Miley is the substitution which is going to take place in just a few moments. In fact, it has just happened. So Almiron is on, and Joe Linton's gone into midfield. Isak is through on the goalkeeper, and he slots it past the goalkeeper as he's come down that left channel, played in. He's picked the ball up beautifully. He's lent his body to the left. He's arced the ball to the right of Alisson, and after getting themselves on the scoreboard, they've conceded at the other end. Liverpool. It's a terrific finish by Alexander Isak. He got his first goal in 7 games against Forest on Boxing Day, and he's got a New Year's Day goal to level things up at Anfield. It was picked up in the left channel, played forward, out towards the far side, and then Gordon slalomed infield, played it in behind the defence with a lovely weighted pass, and it was a first time touch past the goalkeeper by Alex Isak, and it's 1-1.
Well, I've got to say, it was that change and Gordon going out on that left-hand side. He went past Trent Alexander as though he wasn't there, and the pass was exquisite. The run was magnificent, and, well, Liverpool are back all square again.
Well, that was quick. 4 minutes between the two goals. Alexander Isak, the change basically straight away changed everything, because Almiron came out on the right side, Gordon went out on the left, and immediately sends the ball in behind for Isak, and it's 1-1.
Well, it's that match-up in these wide areas that you thought might be quite clinical, and Gordon, I think that's his favoured position out there, and he certainly showed that just then.
Oh, what a ball it was. Free kick given against Gordon for a bump on the defensive line, and Virgil van Dijk has it. Anthony Taylor wants him to go back a few steps because he's taking it from the wrong position. They worked so hard to get themselves in front. Now they've got to go all over again, Liverpool. And there was a half-naked man in the Newcastle end that rather enjoyed that, Stuart.
I think there's a few in there in the Toon end. They pride themselves on going al fresco, let's say, you know, in the cold weather. I'm looking at it, I'm freezing up here, but well, there's a few of them. There's one there. They're all over the place. Incredible.
There's a little 6-year-old kid without a top on. Crikey! I look like an alpaca here. I've got every little bit of clothing I can grab and put it on. It's freezing. But they're out there with their bare chests out and certainly up for the fight. And Newcastle have shown they're up for the fight because after their quick setback at the start of the second half, they fought their way back in within 4 minutes. But they've got a lot of defending to do if they're going to escape here with anything. It's 1-1. Ball forward towards Isaac again. 2 goals in 2 games for him now. He's 11th of the season. Forward to Almiron, who will chase anywhere. He comes out towards this near side. Oh, and he gets in front of Van Dijk, who's committed a foul.
Yeah, that was a foul. As I say, he showed too much of the ball to Almiron. Almiron wasn't giving it up. Just got his body there, just in front of the ball, and just got taken out. What a game this is, and the conditions are just getting worse and worse for the players. But
everything's blowing around the commentary box. The pages keep turning. The bottles of water and the boost bars are flying around the press box. And it's Game Day exclusive on TalkSport with Now. Don't forget, with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action like Liverpool Newcastle live tonight for $11.99, no contract search, no sports. There is going to be a free kick on this near side, and look at Anthony Gordon's shirt rippling in the wind as he steps up right-footed, delivers a ball right under the goalkeeper. Too easy for him to clutch it, and then he bowls it out at rapid speed perfectly to the Colombian Diaz, who motors upfield at real pace, and he plays the ball into the middle looking for Darwin Núñez, who heads it back down inside the 18-yard box. It's away by Tino Livramento, and once again attack is turned into defence very quickly for Newcastle because Liverpool just come forward like the Red Arrows, and they're coming forward again down the right side. Trent Alexander-Arnold towards the far post, away by Livramento, and then across goes Joe Gomez, and looks as if they were going to get a free kick on the edge of the box. The referee waited to see if there was an advantage, then pulled it back because Gomez was too physical. It will be a Newcastle free kick. It was just their first shot on target, Newcastle, from which they scored their equalising goal. And I think that probably, the statistics are ridiculous, aren't they? 22 shots they've had, 8 on target. They have just the 1 goal. Newcastle had 2 shots in the game. They've had 1 on target. They've got on the scoreboard.
Well, and
ruthless.
And you've got to say, talking about ruthless, that last Liverpool counter-attack, the goalkeepers caught the ball, and as you rightly say, it was the Red Arrows. 5 players at sprint speed went from one end to the pitch to the other. Amazing.
This is just an absolute belting game of football, isn't it? We hoped it would be. It is. 59 on the clock. Liverpool coming forward again. Núñez sweeps the ball to the left edge of the penalty area as Liverpool go on the attack once more. Luis Diaz tries to come infield. He sends it to Wataru Endo. Endo back to Trent Alexander-Arnold, then on to Gomez, and then back infield again to Wataru Endo, who has made a real difference to that midfield. They have got so much better defensively. Here is Alexander-Arnold steering the ball to the far post. Luis Diaz tries to poke it. It goes loose inside the 6-yard box, and eventually is rescued by Cher and cut out towards the far side. Another moment of panic inside that Newcastle penalty area as we hit the hour mark. Salah runs up towards Joe Linton. I'm sure he's given away about 40 fouls in this game, and the referee hasn't blown for one of them.
He's definitely old school. I'm sure I played against him in 1976.
Well, listen, there'll be a few Liverpool fans asking whether or not Joe Linton needs a paternity test to see if Anthony Taylor's his real dad. Ball sent long out towards this near side. Luis Diaz has broken down into the left wing position. Lovely little Cruyff turn to get the better of Tino Livramento into the box. A bending ball through the 6-yard box, which skews away from everyone in red and everyone in black and white. They come back again from the outside of the penalty area on the right side into Trent Alexander-Arnold. His cross is blocked. It's Luis Diaz putting pressure on. Núñez then fouls inside the area. Free kick given. And I tell you what, everybody's blood is up. The temperature is rising. The attitudes are really out there. There's a bit of an argument going down on the touchline. Jurgen Klopp is stalking around inside his technical area. He's frustrated. The Liverpool fans are getting irritated. The Newcastle fans have got their blood up. They're right at the front of the Anfield Road stand. They're all taking their tops off and swirling them around their heads. They believe they can get something here. They can dig in and fight for something. But the atmosphere is terrific, Stuart Pearce.
It certainly is. The ball spends very little time in the mid-band of the pitch. It's either in one box or the other box. It's just a brilliant game of football to watch. High energy, the players, everyone who's contributed to this deserves a pat on the back.
And a clash of styles as well. Liverpool with all the possession, Newcastle trying to defend diligently, and by the way, riding a bit of the old Donald Duck. Here is...
I'll be interested to see the stats for the Liverpool team, at the end of the game, when you look at high intensity runs, distance covered, all of those types of things.
Ball into the box is headed away. Liverpool come on the attack. Wataru Endo shields that box and stops it from being cleared by Newcastle. Back they come down the left, Liverpool, with Jones, who cuts infield, and it's picked off by Cher, and he plays it out towards the left-hand side. Then it's returned by Szoboszlai. He's found Alexander-Arnold. He goes back infield towards Szoboszlai again. They're hemming Newcastle in once more. All the challengers are firing in, but Luis Diaz gets there, shoots, it's saved, comes back out to Darwin Núñez, and then it's rescued by Sean Longstaff, and he clears the halfway line. He doesn't even reach the halfway line because Virgil van Dijk is back on it, and they're back on the attack once more, Liverpool. The Red Sea goes waving towards the Newcastle goal once again. It's non-stop attack from Liverpool, wounded by that quick equaliser that was conjured by Isaac. It's Núñez down the left side. Across comes the defender, goes out to the right full-back position. They eventually play it off Gomez, and it goes out for a throw-in on this near side. It remains 1-1 after 63 minutes.
Well, this might be the difference between whether you're Premier League contenders and not as Newcastle. I look at Newcastle's bench and I think, who can they bring on to, if they're chasing the game, need a goal and that type of thing. With no Wilson, you're not sure. Liverpool at this moment are bringing 3 players on, and all of them have got the opportunity and certainly the credentials to turn the game in their club's favour.
They have Cody Gakpo, Diogo Jota and Ryan Gravenberch all coming on for Liverpool in the next few moments. Here goes Wataru Endo, down to Szoboszlai. It's away by Dan Burn, but only as far as Salah, right angle of the penalty area. He's trying to get in the box. He tucks it back. Endo's cross. It's Núñez with a header wide. What a chance. 7 yards out. Rose highest in the box. Glanced it towards the far post. Did almost everything right, but didn't get it on target.
Well, it was a beautiful ball in there. Just lifted in nicely. And Núñez has climbed really well and just helped it on its way, basically. And it's just gone past the far post by a fraction. I'm not sure I'd want to be Jurgen Klopp making the substitution, because I don't think anyone deserves to come off, if I'm being honest with you.
Núñez is coming off, and so is Luis Diaz. And Diogo Jota, Gakpo and Gravenberch coming on. Szoboszlai is the other one who is being replaced.
I mean, the energy the 3 coming off have put into the game has been absolutely super, But Klopp will be looking to win this game and extend the points difference at the top of the division, I'm sure.
Yeah, with just a draw, it'll only be 1 point, their advantage over Aston Villa. It will be 3 points if they get all 3 points here. Cody Gakpo goes up to play on the left-hand side. It'll be Salah on the right. It will be Jota as the sort of false 9 in the middle. Let's see what happens over the course of the next few minutes here on Talk Sport. And it's going to be a long 25 minutes for the Newcastle defence, you would expect. 1-1 the score. Alexander Isak with the only shot that Newcastle have had on target, equalising after Mo Salah had given them the lead. Liverpool missed a penalty in the first half. Here's Salah again, moving towards the edge of the box. It's saved by the goalkeeper. Pushed goalwards by Jones. There was no real venom in that push forward by Jones, and it was saved again by the Newcastle defence rather easily. That was a poor effort from Jones, and there's a foul on the far side on Anthony Gordon, and a yellow card is going to come out here. And is that Wataru Endo or Konate who's been given that?
Looks like Endo, I think.
Yeah, I think it was Endo.
Yeah,
he made the foul. I know that Konate was the one who was gobbing off at the referee and then went sheepishly back into his position. And the referee's been more inclined to punish dissent than he has anything else so far in the game. So many opportunities for Liverpool that they haven't made pay. And they have to be careful because Newcastle do create a lot of chances. They head the XG table this year, which tells you that they create so much. They probably deserve more points than they've actually got over the course of the season, Newcastle.
And they've probably just got to try and keep getting this ball to Gordon, because he is the one, that outlet on the left.
Oh, that was a late challenge by Bruno Guimaraes. Surely a yellow card. Oh no, it's Joe Linton. It is Joe Linton, sorry. I thought for a second there that because the yellow card was coming out, it couldn't possibly be the Brazilian Joe Linton, but it was. They both dyed their hair light in the last few months, and he went sliding in and he picked up a yellow card for a challenge on Konate. It is his 27th foul, so it's probably about time.
Jurgen Klopp's having a chat with Mr. Madley, and I'm sure I think I quite understand what he's saying, because Joe Linton has just been incredible. He's waded in and booted and pulled everyone.
A ball sent out towards this near side, and it goes out of play and away for a throw in to Liverpool. Toss back in to Curtis Jones. Jones turns it round the corner, finds Gakpo. Gakpo goes back infield, and it's collected by Gravenberch. Gravenberch back infield to Endo. Endo to Gravenberch. Oh, he's miscontrolled that, and it's taken off his toes by Almiron, who's escaped quickly, and he's got real rapid speed as Miggy Almiron, and poise, and he's turned and played it back into Bruno Guimaraes, and now Joe Linton has got it. Left side is Anthony Gordon. He's lifted the ball out to him. Gordon's gone on to Byrne. Byrne in the left wing position. Newcastle on the attack. The ball in towards Alex Zizek, and it's half cleared, and then it's taken away by Curtis Jones, who does brilliantly to weave away from Almiron, and now they're looking to... Joe Linton had to be very careful there because he went flying in on a challenge as Liverpool threatened to break, and I tell you what, he might have hurt himself, but he almost got himself in serious trouble. You know what you were talking about, that stuff that's between the ears? Here is Salah down the right side as Newcastle backpedal again. Dan Byrne does brilliantly, and then the ball goes out of play and away for a corner despite Dubravka's best efforts. I mean, it's just an absolutely unbelievable game. It's non-stop action. And we are on the edge, aren't we? Everything is being played on the edge.
Exactly that. It's a cauldron of noise here at Anfield, and Joe Linton there, he slid in with a challenge where you thought he's going, he's off, and he just gets a nick on the ball that keeps him on the pitch. But if he sees the game out, my goodness me, well, it'll be incredible.
Well, Newcastle have become rather leaky. They've conceded 2 or more in 8 of their last 17 games. 69 on the clock. Delivery in towards the near post. It's headed away, but it comes back towards Gakpo. Brilliant save down low. Konate can't get there. Gravenberch over the top of the crossbar from the ricochet, which takes the ball to the edge of the box. He then volleyed it goalwards. It went over the top. I mean, Dubravka, I tell you what, he's had a really tough start to replacing Nick Pope, and if you go back and look at Newcastle's demise, it coincides with that 85th minute injury to Nick Pope. They've lost 6 of 7 since he was out of the team, but he's been magnificent tonight, Dubravka.
Listen, he was man of the match after about 25 minutes, you know, let alone what he's done since. I mean, he's got his hands, great save there, down low to his right hand side, and when the ball's been flicked out at all, they've managed to get players there to block the secondary.
Gordon's got it again, right-footed, trying to run towards the edge of the box. He shoots straight down the throat of the goalkeeper, and it's cleared away. Newcastle haven't been great at fighting back before today. They've taken just 1 point from losing positions, and they haven't won any of the last 9 Premier League games in which they've conceded first. The last time they did so was back in April when they beat Southampton. Maybe today could be the day. Things seem to be going their way. Talk about having a touch of New Year fortune. They certainly had that over the course of the 70 minutes we've had so far. They have a throw-in on the halfway line. And it's with Guimaraes, who immediately is engaged by Curtis Jones. He's then fouled by Curtis Jones. And that's going to be a free kick just left of the centre circle.
Well, it's going to be a war of attrition, that is for sure, in these last however many minutes, and chances are we'll have a fair dollop of extra time as well to go on top of this.
I said to you before that Newcastle were top of the expected goals charts, and it does depend what model you look at. Some will have them top, some will have Manchester City top. It's very incremental between the two, but Liverpool are going to be getting up there by the end of the day, because their expected goals for today's game is 4.25. And they've only scored once. I think that sort of tells you, and I must tell you, that Newcastle's is 0.32, which sort of gives you a fair indication of the balance of power in this game.
Well, the good thing is our eyes haven't deceived us.
No. And defending is an art too, and it is to be rewarded. And if a team does it well, then so they should be able to get something out of a game like this. They've had a bit of luck as well. Dubravka comes out, grabs the ball in front of Salah, plays it to the left, and in the left full-back position the ball is sent on towards Gordon, who absolutely sells Trent Alexander-Arnold, a dummy, and then gets a return from Isak, and he's running at Konate. Konate's trying to get back at him, he goes down, and the referee says it was a dive from Anthony Gordon.
Yeah, it was. As I say, he's done brilliantly. He's given a great give and go with Isak, and he's got him behind. He's just decided to try and buy a foul. Well done, the referee.
72 on the clock. Liverpool 1, Newcastle United 1 on TalkSport. And we're with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has 450 branches with all the vehicles your business needs. And you can hear the fans behind us trying to get behind their team. They might need them. Remember, Liverpool have a high propensity of scoring late goals. And they've scored the most goals late on in matches. In fact, if I remember rightly, I think they've scored 15 goals in the last quarter of an hour of matches and 6 in stoppage time. So Newcastle will well know that the danger isn't past yet.
Well, that's it. I mean, we spoke earlier about how Liverpool just go after the game, irrelevant to the score. They don't see games out. They just keep going and keep going and keep pressing for another goal after goal.
1-1. Jeff Stelling back on Breakfast tomorrow on TalkSport. We'll review this game. I'm sure they'll enjoy it as the ball goes towards the edge of the penalty area. Newcastle intervene once again. Botman this time. And look at the space for Anthony Gordon over on that far side. And when they do go for it, they sometimes leave a gap. It's angled the ball in towards the far post, looking for Longstaff, who runs into the penalty area, goes down under a challenge. Wataru Endo committed that challenge, and the referee says play on, no penalty.
I tell you what, really slick move by Newcastle there, and Longstaff took it on his chest but just couldn't get any control on the ball.
Well, there was a little bit of contact between the two. Ball into the box towards the near side. It's played in towards Jones, and Jones goes beyond the goalkeeper. Jota taps it to him, and he tucks it into the empty net. He looks over his shoulder just to check to see whether or not he's offside, but he thinks he's timed his run to perfection. Newcastle can play to the referee, but Jones has tapped it in from 4 yards out. Dubravka has finally been undone, and Liverpool take the lead again.
Well, two goals from Liverpool, both very, very similar, well worked, taking that extra pass for a little tap in. And as I say, that's typical of Liverpool, the options they've got in the front area of the pitch, and Jota was instrumental in that goal.
It went out wide to Salah into the box, it's on to Jota. There's no suggestion of offside for me, and it's tucked in by Jota in the middle of the park, again from one end of the pitch to the other.
Exactly, really clinical play, and what Liverpool do, they bring different types of forward type players on. You know, Jota's a slightly different animal to Núñez and Diaz, and it's paid dividends.
Goalkeeper went rushing out there to meet Jota. Was that the right decision?
I don't think he's got any other opportunity. The bottom line is, you know, Jota's going to shoot, he's going to have to narrow the angle down. It's just a brilliant move.
Wataru Endo has been taken off, and Alexis McAllister, after 6 games out, is on the field of play for the final 15 minutes. Curtis Jones with what could be the winner, but Almiron is in behind here, and Gordon's at the far post, and Almiron is in the box, and he's got it left-footed, and he's ballooned it. He's cut back in on his left foot inside the area, and he's ballooned it over the top of the crossbar.
Yeah, this season he's got 1 or 2 decent goals, but as of recent times, he's just lacking something when he gets into these advanced areas. He's either got to keep driving on and use the right foot to slide it across the face of the goal, or alternatively Longstaff is the supporting run. But this game's not finished by any means.
15 to go. A brilliant seesawing encounter in which basically the balance has been tipped very much in Liverpool's favour throughout, and only latterly have they managed to take advantage. There's another goal in the 75th minute. It might have been 74 actually. So another late-ish goal for Liverpool, who lead by 2-1. The latest odds with Ladbrokes, where right now you can get Liverpool to win the game at 10-1 on, 55-1 for Newcastle to come back and win it, 15-2 the draw. It's all thanks to Ladbrokes, 18+BeGambleAware.org. Gakpo down the left side on the attack for Liverpool once again. Into Gomez. Gomez turns it infield. Jones, the goal scorer, gives it back to Alexis McAllister, and then they keep the ball ticking over. I mean, I think Eddie Howe probably will take heart from this performance. Here is Gakpo playing it into the centre. Defensively, they've been I know they've conceded 2 goals, but they've shown great fight in the game, even if they end up coming away with nothing here. I think more so though, Liverpool will take heart from it. It's been tough. You know, they've had to beat the luck as well as the Newcastle defence, but they've done it so far. But there's still a way to go yet. So loud inside here now.
It's just fantastic. The emotion with all the players, the manager, Jurgen Klopp's beating his chest and flailing his hands.
Salah goes down the right for Liverpool into McAllister, then back to the left. It's collected by Curtis Jones onto Virgil van Dijk, and then back in field it goes. It's TalkSport, and it's switched out towards the far side with Liverpool on the attack again. Salah chests it down, bends it into the centre. Gakpo is there and bobbles it home. It's 3-1 to Liverpool now, and surely the points are safe this time. Cody Gakpo with the 3rd goal. Mo Salah with a brilliant bender with the outside of his foot to open up the space in the middle of the 18-yard box. Gakpo stole in and bobbled the ball, not the truest contact, but enough to steer it beyond a stricken Dubravka and to make it Liverpool 3, Newcastle 1, and give the scoreline a fairer reflection.
I'll tell you what, it was McAllister slowed the play down there, slipped it out to Salah, and then Salah's ended up outside of the left foot across the face of goal. It was a miss hit that done for Dubravka, and this is the weight of bringing substitutes on with pedigree, really, you know, and that's the difference between Liverpool and Newcastle at this moment. And if Newcastle are going to chase being a top 4 consistent team, they're going to have at least options on the bench to supplement what they've got.
Just checking to see whether or not Cody Gakpo was in an offside position. It did actually look quite tight when I saw it on the replay, and VAR is now checking whether or not it is offside or not. I mean, that is so tight. Just hit the goal.
That's onside. That's onside.
I think he's onside because of this fella up here.
Yeah.
It looks onside from the vision that we've got. I mean, you know, we have another delay. Players have to wait around in the freezing cold and the swirling rain.
Listen, they need the rest. They've been running around.
Yeah, we all need a rest, actually.
High revs.
The heart rate's gone up. Yeah, there's a goal. Look, which is what we told you about 2 minutes ago. 2 goals in 4 minutes, 8 seconds. And Liverpool lead by 3-1. So let's go off to the darts. And Mark Wilson.
Yeah, Luke Humphries leads Dave Chisnell by 2-1, but Chisnell just missed tops to level up the game. The winner of this one, remember, will play Scott Williams, who earlier on beat Michael van Gerwen in the quarter-finals here tonight. It is Luke Humphries 2, Dave Chisnell 1. It's live on TalkSport 2.
Here come Liverpool again. It's Gakpo into the penalty area. It's Salah reaching for the ball on the right-hand side, but steering it straight into Dubravka. The darts continues over on TalkSport 2. Mark Wilson may have told you that, but we couldn't hear him inside this stadium. Couldn't hear anything. It's absolute bedlam on Merseyside, and it's 3-1 to Liverpool, who 18 shots on the first half, in the second half. They've continued their surge towards the goal. 12 shots in the second half, 9 on target, and 3 goals in that time as well. They've been more ruthless second 45. We've got 10 minutes to go plus stoppage time. Livramento through the legs of the defender onto Longstaff, whose cross is blocked. It goes out for a corner, and it's a Newcastle corner in front of the Kop.
Did you just say 12 shots, 9 on target?
I did, yeah.
I bet you that stat has rarely been matched or bettered.
And that's just in the second half.
Yeah.
Here is the corner on this near side to be taken by Longstaff. Can Newcastle get themselves back in the game? They might do. It's a brilliant header from the corner, sent in by Botman, who rose up higher than anyone else and sends it into the far corner of the net. And this Premier League classic takes another twist. Newcastle back in the game with 10 to play. A towering header from Sven Botman.
It was some header, I've got to say, but he had a free run at it. And if you get a free run and you can jump above people that are static, you've got every chance on the 6-yard box. A fantastic header. I've got to say, it was a fantastic header. One person wanted to head that, and he went with aggression. Now, all of a sudden, we've got a situation. This could become one of the classics of all time once again.
Jamal Lascelles comes off. Dan Burn comes off. Lewis Hall comes on. Jamal Lascelles comes on. Joel Linton finally gets hooked. I'm surprised actually it's Eddie Howe who got to take him off rather than the referee. But he has been replaced. Trent Alexander-Arnold. It says here Trent Alexander-Arnold has just been booked for dissent, but I think he was booked for dissent in the first half.
Yeah, he's been booked before now.
Maybe they've we're just getting information on our commentator information system. Maybe what they've done is clarify why he got booked in the first half, because he was allegedly booked for delaying the restart earlier. Maybe they're just clarifying that it was dissent that he was booked for. It was definitely dissent. I remember him doing it.
Yeah, Newcastle just gone to a 3, change of shape here. They've gone to a 3 at the back, 2 wing backs. Paul and Livramento, they're going to have to get forward and supplement the lone striker.
All given away cheaply by Livramento. Onto the left it goes with Jones. 3-2 to Liverpool. Into the box they come. It's picked up by Bruno Guimaraes. Got to get rid of it. It's like a hot potato. Dan Burn comes out towards this near side, and it's cleared away down the touchline.
You're telling me Dan Burn come towards this near side? He sat on the bench, my friend.
Sorry.
The excitement of this game.
I was in between looking at screen and looking at football pitch at the same time. So I apologise. Here is Isaac. He's still on the pitch. So is Lewis Hall, who's over on the far side. Isaac delayed in giving it to him. He's given it to him now. He's moved up towards the edge of the penalty area. He's poked it back, but he's hit Gordon and then given it away to McAllister, who sent the ball forward at rapid speed, and he split the 2 defenders and found Jota. Jota up against the goalkeeper, sits him on the floor, goes down, wants a penalty, gets a penalty. Well, he didn't put it into the net, so you can only suggest that it was contact. A yellow card has been given to Dubravka. The Anfield crowd want a red, but a penalty and a yellow card has been given.
Well, listen, just when you think you're going to get a breather in this game, it just goes to another level. Jota's run the length. I tell you what, it's a dive. That will get chalked off, in my opinion.
I think there's contact, and I don't think it will get chalked off. It looks like a dive.
No, there's no contact at all there, and that's delayed reaction.
It is a delayed reaction. I think it's a dive, but I've seen penalties given for that tiny bit of contact with the bottom of the elbow. There's a little bit of contact from the bottom of the elbow, and I think that they will use that as an excuse to give it. I think that's an absolutely scandalous penalty if it's given.
Well,
because it's a delayed reaction, and he could have finished it off.
Yeah, personally, I'm not giving that. If I'm in the VAR hub, I'm telling the referee, go and have another look at that if I were you, and then decide for yourself.
Well, I mean, it's contact with consequence, isn't it? He made a genuine attempt to play the ball, which is why he's not going to get a red card. But the referee is waiting after a VAR check. Stuart Atwell is looking at it in the VAR room. Are we going to have another penalty here? I think we are. I think they're going to give it. And Dubravka can't believe it, but I think they're going to give the penalty here. Still, Anthony Taylor is saying, get out of the penalty area, get out of the penalty area. Wait. We haven't had any communication. No communication to the crowd, again, about what's going on here. But they have given the penalty, Stuart Pearce. What do you think about it?
Well, personally, I wouldn't have given it. I would have given the first one in the first half, but I certainly wouldn't have given that. I don't think there's enough in that, and the delayed reaction, a player could have stayed on his feet and carried on. And yourself, what would you have done?
No penalty. Mo Salah places the ball down. Dubravka stands on his line. Salah has already missed one penalty, and he has, as I mentioned before, missed 4 of the last 10 penalties that he's taken in the Premier League. He's placed the ball down to take on Dubravka again. This certainly to seal the points in the 86th minute. It's Salah steps up, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, and Liverpool now can decide to have their New Year's Eve party tonight. And a send-off for Salah before he goes off to the AFCON. A brilliant game of football, which Liverpool now surely have finally won. A scoreline that reflects the game, and a scoreline and a match that reflects the historic nature of this iconic fixture. It's Liverpool 4, Newcastle 2.
Well, Sam, this game was magnificent in the first half, but all we lacked was a goal. We certainly had a feast of goals in the second half, and it was Jota once again. He's got one, he's assisted, he's gone through on the goalkeeper. A fantastic run from him through the centre of Newcastle's defence. They'll be disappointed with conceding the penalty in the manner that they did.
It'd be interesting to hear from Eddie Howe on that as well, because last year they were given some iffy decisions during this game, this fixture, and they ended up losing it. And it was another great game between these two, but it was decided, I think, by big decisions. This year, I think he'll feel that decision to give a penalty again has robbed him of a grandstand finish. Darren Bent, the drive time host for TalkSport, has just tweeted, it's never been a penalty. Here is Salah down the left-hand side, looking for his hat-trick, gets it onto his left foot, tries to steer it towards the far post. It's blocked and run clear on this near side. 88 minutes. Joe Gomez wins it back, brushes Gravenberg out the way. He goes down. Almiron is not penalised. Referee says play on, get up. Guimaraes back to his centre half. Botman manages to clear. 4-2 to Liverpool on a brilliant night at Anfield. Guimaraes out to the left-hand side, steers the ball to Lewis Hall, comes back infield, sends it to Bruno Guimaraes again. 88 on the clock. How many minutes are we going to have stoppage time?
Well, in all honesty, I'm here all night, to be quite honest with you. If they carried on serving this feast of football up and energy and entertainment, it's fantastic.
Oh, it's been brilliant.
I think absolutely Newcastle have missed a trick by changing their formation and taking Gordon away from that left-hand side. You know, he's in the traffic and he receives the ball a lot less now. He is the main threat.
How many shots have they had on goal now? 13 in the second half, 10 on target. Overall, it's 32 shots, 15 on target. They've got the highest XG I've ever seen in a football match, 6.77. That's outrageous.
Absolutely brilliant.
I think that's the highest ever. In fact, I'm pretty convinced it's the highest ever. Here is Longstaff with a challenge, a late challenge, and he gets a yellow card on the halfway line as a result. 03717 223344 is the number to call if you want to speak to Jamie O'Hara and Razor Ruddock tonight. They're on the Sports Bar, and that will be a great listen on the way home. And this has been a great listen. Absolutely brilliant. Listen to this, the noise of the Liverpool fans who finally think that they've grasped victory. It hasn't ever been certain, has it? Because every time they've got themselves in front, they've come back at them, Newcastle. We're going to have 7 minutes of added time at the end of the 90, so we still might have some late drama. It might not be over yet. Konate strides forward. He plays it towards his left-hand side. He's knocked to the floor by Cher, and Cher gives away a free kick. All the scarves are above the head. They're twirling them, the Liverpool fans, over their heads, singing the European song, Allez, 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 as they go on another march. They're going to leave the top of the table by 3 points tonight thanks to this victory here at Anfield. Unbeaten in 22 Premier League home games after this, one defeat in 52 Premier League home games here, 13 games unbeaten in the Premier League, 3 points clear, and Newcastle are fourth. They've scrapped, they've tried desperately to show their teeth when they've had the opportunity. They've got on the scoreboard twice. You get on the scoreboard twice at Anfield and don't win, you're always disappointed. But they have faced more shots, I think, in this game than they're probably going to face for the rest of January.
It's been a super game, and Liverpool, a la Liverpool, are still going forward and still looking for another goal.
It wouldn't be Liverpool unless they did. To be fair, the only thing we need now is a Newcastle goal to make it 4-3 and just make it traditional Liverpool-Newcastle fare. These two. It's been a great night of football. And Newcastle, though, in danger of slipping badly again. 7 in 8, and here is Isaac trying to speed away as the ball's sent back to him, and he almost got in behind Kanate now. Interesting, they've got Sunderland. That's a massive game now in the FA Cup because they need to start winning matches. They go away to the Stadium of Light. That's a real difficult place to go, especially with Sunderland winning today live on TalkSport earlier on against Preston in what was another good victory for them, and they've done well under Mickfield. They're into the playoff places, 40 points from 26 games now in the Championship. Here come Liverpool again. Salah into the edge of the area. It was a poor ball cut out by Cher. It'll be picked up by Alexis McAllister. 92 on the clock. We're into the second of 7 added minutes at the end of the second half here. And after that game against Sunderland, they have Manchester City at home and Villa away. Two of the toughest games you could possibly have, Newcastle. So you could be in a situation in a couple of weeks where the pressure is starting to build a little bit on Newcastle. And you do hope that if things don't improve, it's the owner's response to invest in broadening the squad before looking at the manager, because they have a very thin squad, don't they, Stuart?
Well, a direct comparison is this game, Sam. Liverpool have brought 3 players on in one hit that have all got the opportunity to turn a game, win a game, blah, blah, blah. Newcastle have made substitutions, and apart from Almiron, I'm not sure any of the others are there to actually turn the game round and win the game.
93 on the clock. It is Liverpool 4, Newcastle 2. And Jamie O'Hara and Razor Ruddock will take your calls straight after we finish. 03717223344. You'll hear from both managers in the sports bar, as well as it is open for business on New Year's Day. It's the only bar that will be open that late tonight, that's for sure. Lewis Hall kicks it clear. Misfield by Jones, and Almiron was coming back from an offside position, so couldn't challenge him. It goes back to Alisson, and it's cleared away by Liverpool.
This just shows what Liverpool are all about. They're 4-2 up with no time at all on the clock, and Trent Alexander, the right back, is in the front line looking to score.
Well, at least they're fun. Here's Gordon winning it back, trying to move it forward, stopped by Alexis McAllister. Back into the midfield they go, but Gordon's got it back again and shifted it on to the right. His ball's a little bit heavy, and it goes straight to Virgil van Dijk, who closes the angle. Across comes Livramento, but can't read it, and it's cleared away, and they fired it forward through Gravenberch into Salah. Salah racing into the box now. He's got Jota in the centre, but he wants to go on his own. He shoots, it bounces up to Jota anyway, takes a touch, shoots, bounces off the defender and goes behind and away for a corner.
Another stat there, 2 efforts at goal. Add that to your list. Incredible, great switch of pass, and you're thinking to the defender, don't let him inside, don't let Salah inside, you're in big trouble if you do. He comes inside, but they just managed to have enough recovery to block the first one, and then Jota's attempt.
Out comes Trent Alexander-Arnold to take the corner to rapturous applause from a thankful Liverpool crowd. I don't think he's getting that from the Newcastle crowd, but he's conducting the orchestra now, arms wide, turning round, drinking in the applause as Liverpool look to go 3 points clear at the top of the table. A right-footed corner in towards the near post, headed away by Botman. Picked up by Jones, who comes back out towards this near side. Here is Jones once again. Jones on the score sheet tonight, not the only one. Salah, who's got 2. Gakpo on the score sheet as well. As Liverpool look to go for a 5th goal, they send it out towards the right side. We played 96 minutes on TalkSport. Salah still fighting over on that far side. God, they're going to miss him when he goes off to the African Cup of Nations. The other's going to have to step up. We've got big fixtures to come, including that semi-final against Fulham, which will be live on TalkSport. That's coming up in just over a week's time. They play Arsenal on Sunday live on TalkSport in the FA Cup. A couple of cup fixtures for Liverpool before their league campaign takes them away to Bournemouth, where they had trouble last year, and then they'll entertain Chelsea at the end of January here at Anfield.
I mean, you look at the substitutes that were made, and the one person who doesn't come off is Salah.
Here is Almiron trying to go forward down the right. He's brought to his knees. The referee gives a free kick 10 yards short of the edge of the penalty area, and it's going to be a free kick for Newcastle. 4-2. Can they get themselves on the score sheet? Can they launch the ball into the box and try and smuggle one in to really make it an interesting last 90 seconds? Well, we shall see. There's only 30 seconds left on the clock, but you know what these games are like. The clock's never over until someone really wants it to end. Here is Bruno Guimaraes to whip the ball into the area at the far post. Lascelles is up from the back. He chests the ball down. It's loose inside the area. Van Dijk reacts and sends it wide. It's cleared upfield, and Salah's on the attack. He's the one that stayed up. Lewis Hall trying to get back at him. He runs up towards the edge of the area, puts it through his legs, goes into the area, still going, beats the defender, tries to pop it home, and a free kick is given against him. And the Liverpool crowd, they're unhappy. They want him to get his hat-trick, so they're furious with Anthony Taylor, who eventually calls a halt to proceedings. It has been a feast for the senses. Liverpool start the new year with a victory that gives them a 3-point cushion on top of the Premier League. 12 months ago they started with a bruising encounter that ended in defeat to Brentford. This year they're absolutely buzzing. It's been a terrific football match. They thoroughly deserved their lead. They thoroughly deserved their 3 points. 34 shots, 15 on target, an expected goals total of 7.2, which is basically stratospheric. It's an unbelievable attacking display from Liverpool. They flexed their muscles here against the Newcastle side, who have now lost almost double the number of games that they lost last season. It's one defeat in 31 Premier League matches for Liverpool, and that's why they're top of the Premier League. Brilliant. Liverpool 4, Newcastle 2.